Hey everyone, and welcome to Television from the Multiverse, the DC Comics TV podcast from MileFuzz TV. I am Peter, and over there in the red corner is Connor.
Man, you take a couple of weeks off and you actually decide to put in some effort.
I had to really
We need to take a
emphasize it
break
though.
more often.
I had to emphasize it. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we had an episode. Last week was because Connor was sick. A bunch of shows got affected and cancelled last week because Connor was in bed, not going to work, not recording any shows.
I basically slept for about 20 hours a day for 3 days, and I still managed to feel like shit.
Well, that's what happened last week, and the plans, of course, have changed because there's not going to be an episode next week. Next week is the final week before shows start coming back, and we're always going to take that week off. We'd always plan for that. So what you're getting today is you're getting a Lois and Clark, which is the season finale of season 1. You're getting the final 2 episodes of season 2 of Young Justice, which wraps up that, and you're getting 2 episodes of Smallville because if we'd only done one, there'd be 1 episode left in season 1, and it just didn't feel right to leave 1 episode left and then go, not do it for months and then come back to the finale in like December when the Christmas break comes.
Exactly. So we decided to suffer for taking that extra week off.
Well, I mean, what was going to happen was that everything else would have been done last week, and then we'd just have a Smallville this week, and then we'd do like an animated movie or something to kind of like as a bonus thing just to make up for the week.
Just to fill out the show somehow.
Instead, you're just getting this 1 episode that has 2 Smallvilles, which is miserable. Misery is coming. I don't even know what he had to
I hate Smallville.
Yeah, and obviously it's been a couple of weeks, and there's been some news. There's been some DC TV news, so we'll start off with that, and then we'll go into the shows as we always do. And just to keep in mind as well, in 2 weeks' time when we're back and the new shows have started, Connor's going on a vacation for a week, but it's not affecting things too much. The only thing that it's affecting is that first week we're going to record a day early, and it's only going to be the 2 new shows that week, which are The Flash and I believe Black Lightning from the top of my head.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so it'll just be a shorter episode with just those 2 before he goes on vacation, and the week after that he comes back and we'll have the full episode with almost everything. I think the only thing that won't have started by then might be Legends. I think that's last.
Yeah, Legend starts on the 22nd.
Yeah, so that's what's happening in a couple of weeks' time. So a bit of a weird schedule for a couple of weeks, and then back to your regular weekly scheduled TV multiverse. But hey, so yeah, news happened, a few things. And the last time we spoke on this show specifically, I think we talked about the Batgirl show at DC Universe, and that been a thing that was happening, because I think that just broke the day before we recorded that episode. In the time since, we've had some new info, mainly about the crossover. We've got a title for the crossover, we have some casting for the crossover. The casting came first, and that was kind of interesting. 2 very random. One character who's a made-up character for the shows, that is an Arkham Doctor. But I mean, the fact that we're getting Arkham Asylum in some capacity is kind of notable and kind of exciting. So Jeremy Davis was cast in that role, and I like him a lot. He's very good. He's very good at the quirky, crazy, and I can see him as this type of character, as a mad scientist. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
He was on Lost. He's been on a bunch of different things.
I feel like I'd probably know his face, but the name doesn't mean anything to me.
I think he was in one scene of the new Twin Peaks. Do you remember the scene where Naomi Watts goes to like the 2 guys that Dougie owes money to, and they're in like tracksuits in the park?
Yeah.
One of them was Jeremy Davis.
Right. Okay.
He had like a mullet in that though. Randomly, which is that was set almost present day, so it was particularly notable that he had this weird mullet.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure I'll know his face.
Yeah, so he's going to be a doctor in Arkham Asylum, and then the other casting, which is Stephen Amell's wife, has been cast as Nora Freeze. And if you're unfamiliar with who Nora Freeze is, it is Mrs. Freeze essentially. That is the wife of Mr. Freeze, who traditionally in the comics or in any adaptation really of Mr. Freeze is actually sick and dying, and Mr. Freeze has got her in a cryo freeze like chamber because he's trying to cure a disease, and that's why he's doing all of his villainous things, because he's trying to like raise the money, raise the capital to research.
He's a very tragic villain.
Very tragic villain, yes. So obviously the question is like, well, I assume she's going to, unless like she just wants a cameo and she is literally just going to be in a tank. But I assume she's going to be up and around walking, which begs the question: is this before she gets sick and it's teasing Mr. Freeze for the Batwoman show, or is this post sick? Has she been cured and Connor's room's falling apart?
It is. There it goes.
Mr. Freeze
Was
on the other
bound
side of
to
the
happen.
wall. He's angry. We're
Yeah.
talking about his wife. But is this post? Has she been cured? Is she better? Is this post? Is Mr. Freeze locked away somewhere, and she's like struggling with the fact that her husband saved her life, but he became a kind of a maniacal villain to do it? And which side of the coin are we landing on here? Or is she just in a tank and it's a cameo because she's just floating in a tank?
That would be kind of funny if it is just that,
Yeah.
but I hope it's not.
Yeah, I think it'd be either before or after is interesting for different reasons. Both imply that we'll get some sort of Mr. Freeze at some point.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And Batwoman show most likely, given that it's a Gotham villain. But yeah, lots of Gotham
that
things.
would make sense.
And then the other thing that came out this week was perhaps arguably the bigger thing was the title of the crossover, and a very makeshift kind of. I don't even want to call it a poster because this isn't. They always release their official poster and they're always quite good. This was not that. This was a makeshift 30-second Photoshop job that looks atrocious, where it's like a real city image, and then someone's like just photoshopped on like this really cheap cartoon looking bat signal onto it, and it looks like cheap garbage. It looks like the sort of thing like and this is not an insult to comic shops, but it looks like the sort of thing a comic shop would have on its its flyer that it's handing out.
Yeah, because you expect just something cheap and not together for a store's promotional marketing things.
Because they don't have an actual marketing team. Use small stores usually. They just
right.
Yeah.
You go, there's a logo. Yeah, slap it on. That'll do. And
hey,
that's fine.
Jimmy, have you ever used Photoshop? I have. Sam, right? Knock something up for us. I'll give it a go. That's that'll be the
and that's fine. And that's fine for a store of that level. It is unacceptable for the CW.
It looks like garbage. But the logo on top looks fine, and the title of this crossover is called Elseworlds, which begs a lot of interesting questions. Because
I mean, the first possibility is just they wanted to use the name.
Yes, because it's a DC.
It has no meaning.
It's a DC classic DC name, and that's what they're going with. Now we have been talking a lot about which world Batwoman's in, and we've always kind of landed in that it's more likely going to be Supergirl's world. However, the title of this kind of implies that maybe it's actually just another one. We've just got a third one now.
Yeah, could be.
So that could be a thing.
It could, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then the other thing that gets added onto this as well, as part of this news, is they revealed that the Monitor is in this, which I mean, as far as going deep, head first into DC continuity shenanigans, the Monitor's about as deep as you can get.
Pretty much, and I'm pretty excited for that. And I don't know if they're gonna pull it off, but hell, I can't help but be excited.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing with this. I don't know. It makes like we got like alternate versions of characters last year, so I don't expect to see like alternate versions. But at the same time, it's called Elseworlds. Part of me thinks
I'm wondering if the Elseworlds is the idea that on this Earth there was no Batman, we just had Batwoman.
Okay, I can see that, and that's how they get around.
As a way of not having to explain Batman every time.
Which would maybe really change the backstory, because it wouldn't be... because obviously she's inspired by Batman, but whereas in here she'd actually have to have, like... I mean, they could keep the stuff with her sister and keep her, like, her father and all that, but she must...
Why she chose...
she has to choose...
the Bat,
she has to choose the Bat, she has to choose to be a vigilante by herself, in some capacity. Does she start off being the soldier for her dad, and then kind of becomes her own thing, and grows away from that, and that's how she becomes Batwoman? I don't know.
I can see it being interesting. I can see it being addressed because if assuming this is a separate Earth, Kara will be familiar with Batman to a point. We know he kind of exists over there.
Yeah, we've heard about this. Yeah.
So I mean, she'll be like, "Hey, what about Batman?" And she's like, "No, it's just me." I don't know. Yeah. I can see him going that route. Just for the sake of when it comes to her own show, it'll be cleaner.
Yeah, either that or Elseworlds is not referencing the fact that Batwoman's in a different Earth. She is on Supergirl's Earth, and the title is more to do with the just whatever the plot is, which at this point we don't know about. we can only
it could be
make wild assumptions at this point. But Elseworlds certainly conjures the idea of multiple worlds and different versions of characters. Because that's kind of what Elseworld is, some stuff like Gotham by Gaslight or Kingdom Come, these different alternate versions.
For anyone who doesn't know, Elseworlds is basically, hey, what if we take that premise but change something? So Gotham by Gaslight, it's Batman, but in Victorian times.
Yeah.
You have a Red Sun, which I believe is kind of being done on Supergirl next season. In some capacity,
to an extent, yeah.
They're doing their version of it, but the original story was, so if Superman landed 12 hours earlier or later, so he landed in Russia instead of America, that's it, and then the story just unfolds from that one change.
I've never read it actually. I didn't know it was actually 12 hours. I knew he landed in Russia, obviously. Like that's the whole premise.
Yeah, no, it's just the time because
they are spinning. Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just like 12 hours difference.
Or The Nail, where a nail stops the Kents from picking up Superman. So there's no Superman. What's the DC universe like? Kind of weird.
Not as good as Red Sun.
But yeah, so Elseworlds, it's interesting. But now we have a title, and do you know what I like about the crossover? I like that every year it feels like a big deal. From the summer onwards, it feels like they're hyping it up. They're adding Batwoman to it. We're hearing about these castings. We're hearing about castings for this as if it's a movie in and of itself. Because sure, there's casting news for other stuff in the shows, but I feel like the stories for this, it feels like we're hearing movie news where they've just cast someone in the crossover. We got Nora Freeze, and we got this.
It does feel like that. Yeah. It's exciting.
So they make a big deal out of it, and last year's was by far the best crossover, I thought. They really perfected what it should feel like.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to what this one's going to be as a three-parter again.
Yeah, as a trilogy.
We're losing Legends.
Which does mean we're losing a lot of extra characters, which arguably is too unwieldy. This maybe simplifies it.
In theory, it might make it focus in a bit more and tell a tighter story.
Yeah.
Because, we loved the last crossover, but there was a lot of characters that, hey, here's a scene. There we go. We're done now.
Which, I mean, to be fair though, like you have to do it that way. You can't focus on everyone. You have to have your core set that you want to make the story about, whoever they may be, and then everyone else is just there to be cameos in the fighting scenes and stuff like that. And that's no different from regular comic books either. That's the same thing there.
No, that's fine. It's not. Yeah. It wasn't a critique, but I mean, you do that every year. People are going to start complaining, I guess.
Yeah. So that's coming in December, and yes, and I don't know if it's happened for all the shows, but definitely the Flash is having its mid-season finale before the crossover. I think all of them might be actually. At least those three might be.
I hope so.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It works for me. So yeah, so that was the news. At least from what I remember, it has been like 2 weeks. So I don't. There could have been other small tidbits in there somewhere, like 2 weeks ago, that have since slipped the memory. But that was the big stuff this week in terms of the DC shows. Yeah, and they cast Stargirl. That's the other thing. That happened since last time.
I thought you were just referring to the CW shows there, so I was going to wait.
Yeah, no, they cast Stargirl. Some actress from a Nickelodeon show who at least looks the part. I never heard of her, but having a quick Google, it's like, oh yeah, she looks a Stargirl. I can see her in the role.
Yeah.
And the sites are reporting that it's expected in 2019, so is very likely coming either right before or right after Swamp Thing in terms of the timeline.
Yeah.
It's looking like we're going from Titans to straight into Doom Patrol to straight into maybe Titans straight into Young Justice and then into Doom Patrol and then into Swamp Thing and then Stargirl. That's what it seems like at the moment.
Yeah, and we got a Harley Quinn animated show to throw in somewhere.
Yeah, I think that got pushed back though a bit.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm sure they said that was coming later than originally intended. Not absurdly, but I think it moved like a year. So I don't know if it's like maybe late 2019 now or 2020, but
fair enough. I never saw that myself, but
I'm sure I saw that.
It's still happening.
Yeah, it's still happening.
I'm pretty confident on that.
Yeah, but so
they mentioned in the news of Stargirl, they'll be doing a young JSA thing. He should be forming a team.
Yeah,
which excites me.
That is exciting. It's definitely very encouraging, and it's kind of funny because it means that if it does spin into an actual JSA show, we'll have like a young JSA in the actual JSA.
I'm fine because that suits the JSA as a concept. As to
It does,
hey, let's
but
just
at
join
the same
off.
at the same time though, I want Stargirl to become a part of the JSA. That said though, I don't know if they do like a thing where the JSA they do the classic route where they're in the 40s and stuff. So her young JSA is far removed, where they're stuff of legends by this point. They're not existing around
Yeah, I
anymore.
mean the easy way if you want her to join the JSA is have her inspired by them. You know, she starts her own thing,
Hmm.
and then the proper JSA like, hey, why don't you just come join us?
Yeah, but how do you do that in terms of having two TV shows?
So you start with just her thing in her show and her team,
Uh huh.
and they can still do their thing. And then once they start up the JSA show, which you know we're assuming at this point is happening after,
Yes.
they then you just roll that cast and bring them into the JSA show.
Oh, so Stargirl just ends. That show concludes.
No, it doesn't have to end. You can still continue her adventures in her own show. It just you just do less of the team focus in the second season
Okay.
or
All right.
third season, whenever this ends up being.
Yeah. Okay. I see. It feels like murky. It feels like they wouldn't do that to me. But I mean, I'm not against it as an idea.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, part of me almost feels like, oh, this is like a JSA prequel show, assuming that we should join. Because part of me's thinking that they won't do that. Part of me's thinking the JSA will be in the 40s, and they'll be like legends, and she'll base the new team on that. But because of that, she'll never join up with them because, I mean, I can see there'll be like a time travel crossover at some point, which will be fun. But
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Jane and Alan and all those guys, they'll all be in the 40s in the classic Golden Age JSA, which would separate it as a show. It would make it feel distinctly different.
It would. It made me a little sad not to have those folks interacting with the youngers.
Make it a lot more expensive though, admittedly as well. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these other shows do first.
yes, after seeing Titans' trailer, I'm not sure I'm confident about the expenditure on some of these shows coming up.
The only thing I will say is
Mhm.
on the budget, it kind of makes sense to me for the first show to be one of the lower budgeted ones. Because there's two
Sure.
options. You go in high budget as a loss leader and go, we're going to grab them. Or you go in low budget, you collect your audience on everything else and just the idea of the show. And then once you've got subscribers and you're making the money, then you can then reinvest that into the other shows and have a bigger budget going forward.
Is it not more successful though if you gain a bigger audience to begin with because your show is more appealing because it's of a higher quality?
It is. But, if they're confident enough that whatever they've got with Titans and what they're offering with everything else on the service is enough. I don't know.
I'm
Wait and see.
skeptical. Given they want people to stick around, I'm skeptical of this business plan. And don't get me wrong, I understand the thought process of working your way up. That is absolutely fine. But assuming they had the option of spending more money to begin with, it feels like your big flagship show that you're launching the service with is one that you spend on.
No, I do agree with that in theory, but I
Yeah.
mean, doesn't mean they made that choice.
Maybe they can. Maybe that wasn't an option. Maybe they're going to raise more money as they go, or maybe I don't know how they're divvying this up because you have to imagine that some of them have bigger budgets than others, right? Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
look at some of the other ones and think. Then again, they kind of made Titans be more cheap by just the choices about what does Beast Boy and Starfire look like. Okay, we've saved money there because they don't look anything like the characters in the comics anymore. Easy.
Honestly, I don't give a shit about Titans anymore. It's I'm already prepared to throw it with Arrow for a drunk double bill.
Uh-huh.
All I care about at this point is the fact that Young Justice is coming.
Nope, Young Justice is obviously Young Justice is a proven quantity, so we don't have to be worried about that,
No.
which is nice. But I really want Stargirl to be good. I really want this Batgirl show to be good. I really want Doom Patrol to
Swamp
be good.
Thing.
I want Swamp Thing to be good. I want all these things to be good. There's very few things.
Doom Patrol is the one out of everything, including Titans. Doom Patrol is the one I care the least about. So I'm like, yeah, okay, if one's going to be bad, I'm choosing that.
Oh
one.
sure, yeah,
But
because
Titans is already going to be bad, so let's hope that Doom Patrol isn't.
it's the property we care least about because we're not as familiar with Doom Patrol. But I don't think there's any DC property they could announce as a TV show, where. Well, it's kind of weird to root for anything to be bad, I suppose. I don't think I'd ever do that. But
Well, I mean, if they announced the Red Hood and the Outlaws show,
well, it has to.
I-
If that's not bad, it's unfaithful.
Exactly. But I would be rooting for it to be awful just because kill it with fire.
But like, I'm going to care about almost anything they announce. The one that they announced that I didn't care about was that Metropolis show, but then they realised they were stupid and pulled it and decided to rework it. So clearly they understood the concerns that I was
Yeah.
perhaps having, which is good. So so that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, but yeah, so who knows what else they're going to announce? And I will say this, because they're now casting for both this and Swamp Thing, for both Stargirl and Swamp Thing, and we're seeing set photos from Doom Patrol, it really does feel like their announcements for these shows on this service have weight. Unlike the movies where I feel like, okay, there's a 1 in 10 chance that this one will happen now that they've announced it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they got off on the wrong foot maybe with that Metropolis cancellation.
But even that one, they did actually announce that they pushed it back and said, we're going to rework this. They actually made a point of making it clear, we're changing our minds on this, we're going to look at it again. And then, whereas there's so many movies from Warner Brothers for DC
Just
where
never hear from again.
yeah, they just kind of
Yeah.
slowly vaporize. Basically, Thanos, he snapped his fingers, and half these DC movies have just kind of whittled away.
Vanished.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But hey, so no, but nah. So I'm excited to see what else there is, and I do love the idea of a Batgirl show, of course. But yeah, and since we can have a Batgirl show and there's a Batgirl movie, what other doors does that open?
No, it's true because Warner historically have been extremely protective of having multiple versions of the same character on it at any one time.
I think you get away with it having like a dedicated service for people who should be like understanding fans of everything and be used to having all this stuff.
Do you know what annoys me
Mhm.
is I saw comments in the wild this week justifying Warner for the past decade. There's the Joker movie happening, and there are people commenting going, "Wait, this isn't the same Joker." Like being actively confused as to, wait, they're doing two Joker things. We're going, oh wait, we have two versions at the same time. I'm like, don't say that. Then you're just reinforcing their stupidity.
Now, what I would say to the studios then is, yes, people aren't used to this right now. Make them used to it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Make them used to it. They'll get used to the idea. It's fine. But yeah, so hey, what do I want TV show wise?
I want JSA, but I want not a 40s JSA. I want a proper multi-generational JSA.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know that's in some fashion likely to show up at some point because they've already kind of hinted that it might spin out Stargirl. So I'm just trying to think of something completely different that I'd be like, yeah, I want that. See, but one of my first things that I'd say would be Gotham Central, but the problem is Gotham's kind of sullied that idea in a lot of people's minds because they turned it into, even worse than the Smallville version of Batman.
Do you know what I'm going to say is before Krypton, I'd have said there's no chance of this happening. They wouldn't bother trying to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
But now, a Green Lantern Corps show. Space cops.
No. Give me Jess. Give me. The whole team. No reason why not.
I don't even care about the Earth Lanterns at this point. I just want give me Talon, Oa, or Mogo, whatever you choose.
Alright, but think about the budget racketing up though. If you're focused on the space, the alien lanterns all the time.
Just a couple. Give some prosthetics. Don't do them all CG.
Oh yeah, Kilowog. Yeah, you have a prosthetic Kilowog.
You could do it. You could do that.
Giant animatronic Kilowog.
It doesn't need to be that giant.
Oh, I could see Salak and like. You'd have to maybe take some creative liberties with like Tomar Ray and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the next too thin to just have it the same and say, oh, there's a human in a suit. No, you'd have to.
Yeah. I don't need them to look perfect. But as long as the essence is there.
I'm for a Green Lantern Corps show. That's fine.
Hell, do you know what? Make up your own aliens, whatever works for your prosthetics, and go, these are our aliens for the Green Lantern Corps. I don't need the exact members. Just do your version. That's fine.
Okay. It's funny. I feel like there was a time 5 years ago when everything felt like it was a new idea, and now I'm trying to think of things, and almost everything's either in development as a movie or a show, or has been at some point.
Yeah.
Nothing I can think of is like such a unique. I was like, oh, no one's thought of doing a TV show out of that. That's a great idea. They've all been spoken about now.
No, it's true. They are, haven't they?
Yeah. At least off the top of my head, I'm sure if I really dug deep and into some stuff.
We haven't had a Nightwing show yet. But I mean, I don't want one attached to Titans.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's going to turn into Nightwing. But I was excited about that prospect when we were first talking about Titans, but after seeing the trailer, I'm like, no, not like this. Not like this, please.
No.
Oh god, I'm dreading that so much. We're really close to that, actually.
I'm so thoroughly unexcited about Dick. It's unreal.
You're usually so into Dick.
I know.
But yeah, it's only a couple of weeks away till Titans hits. But hey,
You have to watch it first.
I do have to watch it first, but you still have to watch it. So
yeah, but I'm not ruining my holiday by watching it while I'm away.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the news. I guess we can move on to the shows. All right, we'll kick off then with the season 1 finale of Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. It is called The House of Luthor. It's episode 21, for the record. Which, not that they got that episode less, but the pilot was a double, so they kind of accounted for that in their numbering. So technically it was 22, hour-long blocks.
22
of TV.
orders.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the finale, and obviously Lois is marrying Lex, and that was kind of, we left off with Superman screaming in the Arctic last time.
He did.
Not very happy. He spends most of this episode trapped in a kryptonite cage. Everyone else saves the day. Superman's like in a cage. Well, Perry and Jimmy, and Perry, by the way, who comes out of retirement after like a week away. He's like, oh yeah, I've been run down by a cab. I'm getting breakfast every day, walking on the beach. He's like, you're miserable, aren't you? Yeah, I hate it. Clark,
tell me you need me.
You need my help, don't you? You need my help to find Jimmy, who's like homeless now. He's like, not really. I can do it myself, Chief. Clark, tell me you need me. It's like, okay, I need you, Chief. I knew it. I knew you needed me. So Perry's gold.
And then he arrives, and then Clark's like, so what'd you tell the wife? She's like, I've been married this long, and I've learned you never lie to your wife. What did you tell her? Oh, I gone fishing.
and then Jimmy just shows up. It actually becomes about investigating what happened to the planet and investigating Luthor. And they basically do it was like a montage of them all going around and interviewing different people and sharing information and whatnot. And that's basically it. And they all kind of figure things out. Meanwhile, so they proved that Luthor's behind it, that he got a big payout for the insurance that he put on it just before. But Perry goes to see James Earl Jones, or whoever his character is in this. And
who cares? It's James Earl Jones.
Yeah. He's basically, hey, Daily Planet, we're going to rebuild. The people are still behind it. The ideas, everything. We're all still here. We just need a place to print it. And he tries to convince him. And he's like, you know what? I'm a big supporter, but I can't justify doing that. But I wish you the best of luck. And Perry, the sly dog, as he's getting up, do you know what I love about this? We have never heard of this character before. We don't even know that he's got a bias here. But as soon as Perry says it, you just get it. Perry's like,
yeah, you know exactly what he's doing.
It's just a shame Lex Luthor's going to have the last laugh, and he's like, "What's that, Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
Why will this upset him? Tell me more. I hate Lex Luthor."
And it ends, and the shot ends, and he's just on him, and it's like, You just know, okay, he's in.
Yeah, it was a fun joke at the end because they unveiled the new, the globe at the end, and he's like, Perry, it's going to be great. We're going to rebuild, and I've got some ideas for modernization. Yeah. He's like, well, hold on just a goddamn minute there. What do you mean modernization? And he just walks off, like, ranting at him.
Just terrified. Yeah.
It's good fun. But so they show up and they arrest Lex during the wedding. Lois is having these doubts all throughout the episode, and she starts daydreaming about Clark. What I thought was funny, because it's all scenes we've seen throughout the season, of course. What I thought was funny, though, is one of them is when she was in the love spell, which I thought was amusing, that she was having flashbacks of that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not a super reliable flashback there, Lois, but she's thinking about, she's standing in front of the mirror, and she's like, Lois Lane Luthor. Lois Luthor, Lois Kent, Lois Lane Kent, and she's all flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And she actually tells him she can't marry him. And then Perry walks in with the police and says the exact same thing. And she's like, I just said that, Perry, come on.
Keep up.
And then Lex goes full Lex and starts, saying, I'll have your badge for this. How dare you come in here and, try to arrest me. I'll phone the governor, phone the president. Which, by the way, he's got the Archbishop doing the wedding. Just
Yeah. Not the Pope. He was too busy already.
The Pope had a prior engagement, yes.
Yeah.
So, no, there was a lot of good culmination in this for all the things that have been building up all season. And it was kind of... It's actually kind of fun having Superman not be the savior of the whole thing. Like, having him... because they basically make Lex even more of a villain in this episode by actually trapping him in a kryptonite cage. And, because, Miss Cox tests the kryptonite and, out in the open, and then they trap him. And, when Lex is caught and he makes a run for it, he comes down just to, like, attack Superman. I'm going to get my pound of flesh before I go. And, Clark's kind of, like, used his super breath to kind of get a key and get out. Which, why he left the key dangling in the same room? I mean, come on, Lex. You're smarter than that.
Ego,
yeah.
And I imagine to Lex, this was him going, hey, look, the key's right here and you can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You're Superman, you should be able to do anything and it's just out of reach.
Okay, I can see it. And then he commits suicide. He jumps off his balcony that he's been on all season. He finally jumps off it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like the touch that Clark, right in front of Lois, tries to fly to save him. Even though it's Lex. Even though
she
he's
grabs onto him, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not where he doesn't go though. He can't, because we've established in this show that kryptonite does actually take away his powers for some time.
Yeah.
So he can't. So Lex actually, he committed suicide anyway. So I mean, it was always suicide, but he also prevented him from saving him. So in a way, I suppose that was a net positive for Lex, in a weird way.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be saved, obviously, as you do.
No. And of course, the body goes missing suspiciously.
Yeah, yes. More on that in one episode in season 2, which we'll get to at some point over the next break. But it felt well rounded in terms of like tying it into the start of the season, because back in the first episode, the pilot, we had the newspaper spinning and the headlines from different papers.
Yeah.
We did that again here at the end. Said, follow the House of Luthor and this and that, and then the joke one at the end with Luthor and Elvis on a beach somewhere. And of course, Perry had another Elvis pep talk this episode. Jack was very confused by it.
Wouldn't be a season final without it, though, would it?
No, it would not. It's funny how much of an important character Jack feels like in these last couple of episodes, and I'm fairly certain we never see him again.
Yeah, he broke out of prison because the guy who framed him was there.
And even,
well, not the guy framed, the guy
Yeah.
who committed the actual crime.
And they even they set up that he can do like journalist work. He's out interviewing people. He's investigating with everyone else. Also worth mentioning, this is the last episode with this Jimmy, because the actor gets replaced.
Yeah.
Michael Landis gets replaced in season 2, because the studio complained, or the network complained that he looked too much like Dean Cain, so they had to recast him.
I can see it. The vague resemblance.
I can see it before you start your first season. I don't think it's enough to recast them after a season, though.
No, it's something that I've never even considered, that they look alike. Now you mention it, you're going, yeah, I guess they do look alike, but not enough to go, hey, no, we got to get someone else in here now.
Yeah, no, and I don't hate the new guy either. The guy who plays him, I can't remember his name, but he's also in the third Child's Play movie. He plays the teenage Andy at military school. Just a bit of trivia there for you.
Cool.
He's coming next season. Look forward to it.
I will look forward to that.
Mm.
No, I mean, I forgot. I have vague memories of the other guy now. But
Yeah.
I'd just forgotten.
Yeah, so yeah, so this is his last episode, and it's a fun moment. Obviously, there's the cheesy TV thing then where Lois is going to tell Clark that she has feelings for him too now, and then he's like, no, but before she can say it, and he jumps in and says, oh, by the way, that stuff I told you, it wasn't true. I said what I said to stop you from marrying Luthor, and of course he's holding his fingers crossed behind his back because he's a Boy Scout.
Yeah, that one moment.
Yeah.
One shot too far.
And it's the annoying thing about this is it's the TV writing so that next season's still the will they won't they. It's not just that they are now. They want to
Yeah,
keep.
and you know what? This is the thing. I'm fine with that in principle. It was
Yeah.
the fingers crossing that crossed the line for me. I'm like, okay, I didn't need that shot.
That's fair. So that sentiment's a little bit annoying. But I like the final moment with Lois where she looks up and sees Superman flying off, and he's like, "I'm not done with you yet, either, big guy." And it kind of like fades to black on that. It's a really sweet end. I think it does a good job of feeling like the story of a season, despite the fact that there's not been. Well, there's kind of been an overall arc. Lex himself has been the overall arc. He's been this constant villain all season, and this was kind of the conclusion to that. Which obviously means we lose Lex for season 2, and we have to go elsewhere.
It's a shame because Lex is pretty great.
But at the same time, I get the desire not to want to just do Lex all the time. Like, let's do something different. So yeah, that's cool. I don't know if season 2 is when they introduce Intergang, or if that doesn't come till season 3. But they're definitely one of the big villains.
What ain't the gang mentioned, right?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay, maybe I'm just misremembering.
And one of the actors actually who's in Intergang is actually Bruce Campbell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bruce effing Campbell,
Okay.
the chin that can kill.
Down.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, no, I thought it was a pretty solid finale, actually. It's kind of weird that Superman isn't the one doing the saving, but I kind of like that because it's like, no, hey, everyone else is very capable. It's not even Lois. Yeah. That's actually almost the even weirder thing. It's not Lois or Clark. It's Jimmy, Perry, and Jack that save the day.
Yeah, there's very little Superman in the episode, even by this show's standards.
Yeah.
When he is there, he's in a cage. But that's okay. It's the Superman stuff has never been what the show's been about and what it's been best at.
Yeah. Also, I loved it when Lois and Lex are planning their new house. They're going to build a new house, a new mansion, and I like the idea of building a house when you have that much money, because he says weird things like, "So are we going to have the 12-car garage or the 15-car? Which one are we going for?"
Always the 15.
Is this bedroom too small? And she's like, "That's like twice the size of my whole apartment." No, that bedroom's fine, Lex. Calm down.
Yeah.
I'm like, just all these choices, get to have whatever you want. Luxury. To be
Sounds
rich.
fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, just, you know what, it's been 5 years, I'll just build another mansion for the fun of it. So I can design a new mansion. Put things where I want.
I could do with that.
I'd enjoy it, certainly. Everyone would, I think. But, so, yeah. No, Lois and Clark, I really like season 1 of this show.
Yeah, me too.
I like the whole show. If you can remember back well enough, do you have a favourite episode, or a few favourite episodes you'd want to mention?
The one where they're in the hotel.
Oh yeah, Honeymoon in Metropolis.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. One like 3 or 4 or 5 ago, maybe.
The Rival. Yeah, with the other reporter. Yeah, that was gold. That was fantastic. I like that. I like Fly Hard a lot, actually. The Die Hard one from a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Bunch of good stuff. I'm gonna go back to the list actually, just so I can see the whole.
Yeah, I'd have to have a look because
the whole list, because I'm sure
you sprung it on me and I wasn't expecting.
Hey, that very very important. Very important.
Not disputing that.
So no, it's just some stuff I think it's worth doing. No, I think those are definitely the standouts, the ones we've mentioned. I think the pilot's also very good, actually. The double-end pilot.
Yeah, I like the one where Lois goes over to Smallville.
Oh yeah, that's the Kryptonite introduction one.
Yeah.
The green.
I really just seeing her interact with everyone over there. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, a lot of those are really good. I think there's very few weak episodes. I think there's only a couple that are kind of like, oh, this one's a bit weirder. Because I like the one where he gets amnesia, even though it's a bit of a clunky episode overall, but it does have some really great moments. Especially when he's paired to try to teach him to fly again, and they're like terrified of what's happening to him.
No, that's true.
Yeah, there's very few that are outright weak this season.
I think my least favorite is the one with the kids.
Smart kids.
Yeah.
Objectively, it probably is, but I don't know if it's the one that I liked the least. There's probably one or two that I think are weaker, but
The kids just annoy me too much. That it makes it hard to get past.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's Lois and Clark. We'll move on, unfortunately, to a double dose of Smallville.
Yeah,
rounding out
yeah.
the season.
Don't be expecting. What's the best episode of Smallville of the season at the end of this?
Technically, this has to be a best one. Like, that's not.
I mean, no. There's not a best. There's a least worst.
Anyway, so episode 20, just 20. Actually, much like Lois and Clark, this is a 21 episode season. Which, what's funny about Smallville, though, is they didn't have a double pilot, but notably episode 2 of Smallville, season 2 of Smallville is 23 episodes. So it's almost like, for some reason, they had an episode cut from season 1, so they gave it to them in season 2.
Yeah, back to 22 after that.
Yeah, 22 from then on. Excluding the writer strike season, because obvious reasons.
Yeah. That's not their fault though.
Aye. But yeah, so season 1 episode 20 is called Obscura. In this episode, Chloe gets kidnapped by a deranged person.
Yeah, there's very little point to this.
But for some reason, Lana's in this blast at the start. Her and Whitney are riding their horses, and there's a gas explosion, the gas pipe, and they go over to check it out, see what's happening, and the workers are trying to fix it, and then it's going to erupt, so they all have to run.
Lana's a stupid shit for not, because Whitney's like, hey, you just run. I'm gonna go just tell them that it's happening and we're running, so just get going. And she just stands there and watches.
Nah, the worst thing about this scene is by far the visual effect as she jumps from the explosion. It is this awful green screen effect.
Yeah, it's pretty atrocious.
It's pretty rough. Also, Chloe has another one of these really awful Superman like foreshadowing lines in this one, where you leap to a conclusion in a single bound or something. It was something to that effect.
Mm.
It was.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was pretty tedious.
Mm.
Oh dear. Chloe's got to the Daily Planet actually for an internship, for an interview, and she doesn't arrive. She gets kidnapped. So no one's knows she's disappeared right away because she's meant to be gone. And it's just sort of over the course of a day or so where Clark's worried she's not responding to calls and so on. And Lana wakes up from the hospital and she's like, I had a vision. Lana gets visions in this one and she sees through the eyes of the kidnapper. She sees like his POV.
Some kryptonite near the explosion. So obviously.
Yes, obviously. And of course, it's not something that it lingers. It just this is it. It's never again. Even though, because the guy doesn't die at the end, right? He's still alive, or does he die? Maybe he does die because he sees Clark's powers. He must die.
He must die because he shoots him, and he's like, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah, exactly. So he has to die. Just logic. Show logic means that he has to die.
I don't actually remember the scene of him dying.
Not do I, amusingly.
But he must do.
But yeah, so that. Do you know what? I always feel bad for the first episode when we do 2 episodes like this back to back because I always have more of a struggle remembering what the first one was about.
Is this the one with the Lex plot with Jonathan? Or is that in the other one?
No, that's this one. Yeah, where he gives him the check. Yes, for the thing that happened an episode or 2 ago.
Yeah, when the other person you were trying to get back at Lex and dumped all the Lex got toxic waste in the field and killed all the cows. I actually really like the scene, where he comes into the kitchen. He's like, "Hey, look, here's the check," and Jonathan and Martha are like, "Hey, this is a lot," and Lex is like, "No, it's not. It's the exact value. I'm not insulting you." And Jonathan shakes his hand for the first time, and I'm like, "Okay." And then that's actual growth.
And then they throw it all away about 2 scenes later.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the start of this, but I genuinely think this makes sense to finally progress this.
Because the reporter dude that's kind of begrudgingly working with Lex tells him about where the meteor's landing. This crazy guy's like, "Oh, I saw something that changed direction." So there's a ship landed that day. So he's digging up the area where all the meteors crashed, and this makes Jonathan really suspicious because it's about because he knows that's where Clark's ship landed, and he says, "I can't take your check," and he Goes to Jonathan,
gives
basically.
it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the whole thing.
And Clark's there just like, what just happened?
Because he wanted a new tractor. He was pissed that the tractor keeps breaking down.
I'm with him. I mean, hey, money. Get the damn tractor.
He smashes a dent in it, which is great. I love Jonathan's way. He's like, hey, Clark, don't smash the machinery about there. These days cosmos like that. But as Clark puts it, this thing breaks down more often, but we spend more time fixing it than we do riding it.
Yeah. It's a piece of shit machine.
Yes. So.
I guess for most tractors, though. I think tractors are kind of just piece of shit.
Yeah. This is. I'm trying to think of anything else happened in this one worth talking about. I can't think of anything.
It's a really uneventful episode.
Because they spend the first half like looking for what your Chloe's sort of missing, and then they all agree she's missing. Her dad's worried. They bring in the cops. One of whom, the red herring cop, not the one who turns out to be the kidnapper. He's from Battlestar Galactica, so I knew his face.
Okay, cool.
And that's all fine. And then Clark finds Chloe buried alive, and punches the ground and just pulls the coffin right out of the ground. Which is a fun idea. It's a fun visual. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
And then she's all happy that he saved her, obviously, and she kind of uses this to almost, I don't want to say blackmail him, but emotionally just cling to him. Like Lana is going outside, and Clark's going to go with her, and she's like, Clark, can you stay here with me? I'm scared. I get kidnapped. And he's like, of course. And she's all happy she's getting attention.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
How's this episode end?
Well, it ends because the killer comes after Lana because she said in an interview that she was getting visions. He knows that she can see through his eyes because she's been accurate, so he comes to kill her, and Clark has to come and save the day.
Yeah, still can't remember how he kills him.
I can't remember how he dies either, but I'm sure he does.
I feel like I should check, because you're right, he must do, because he sees him.
Well, because my complaint was going to be if he doesn't die, then isn't Lana still going to get visions of his eyesight every so often, just sitting in his prison cell?
You'd think. That'll be boring. Oh, imagine having visions and just wasting it on that.
It could be worse. You catch him mid-wank.
I'm sure if he's in prison, she's almost certainly going to at some point.
What else has got to do?
I don't think there's that much else to do in there.
Well, go on then. Wow me with this conclusion.
I'm trying to find it. I'm skimming. He's saving her. They're in the carnival. That's where they are. The guy's there with the gun, shoots him.
This is riveting podcasting. I'm well
yeah.
that. I'm well aware of this, guys. I know this is boring as shit. Get to the point, Connor.
Oh, hang on. I'm watching it. So you see it through Lana's eyes. Oh, the cop shoot him down.
Ah, the cop shoot him.
Oh, yeah. Because it's from the Vision POV, and you get the horrible shot of the CG bullet coming at the screen.
Oh, I remember this now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just kind of, we do have the horrible scene with Chloe in the barn afterwards as well.
Is this where he finally asks her out? The dance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he finally asks her out. Because even Martha's like, hey, you can't keep waiting around for Lana. Ask Chloe out, you dumb shit. And then Pete's like, ask Chloe out, you dumb shit. I'm going with the hottest girl in class. Do you know how that happened? Do you know what miraculous new thing I tried? I asked her. And I'm like, Pete, you okay, you can be proud, but you're being a bit too smug, right?
No, I mean, I guess when you're 3'5", you get to be smug about things like this.
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know, it just feels really short.
You say that as if you're super tall.
I'm perfectly average.
Yeah, as am I. I don't know, it just feels a bit harsh.
I don't know. Maybe he's just around tall people, but he always feels really short.
I think he's just normal, yeah. I think it's just Clark or Tom Welling's, tall.
No, it could be. He always feels really short. That's because he never has anything to do and we never see him next to anyone else.
Do you know what it is? He always looks about the same height as Chloe, but Chloe presumably will be in heels a lot of the time, so I think he inherently just looks shorter.
Could be, yeah.
That'll be my guess. But that was a bit harsh.
Yeah, well, no,
bit of a heightest comment there, to say so.
Yeah. Lex found a piece of the ship.
Oh yeah, the hexagon that goes in the ship.
Yeah.
That's how we end. That's
Yeah.
a cliffhanger. Yeah, you're right. Which takes us on to the finale, which is Tempest, episode 21. And I always remembered how this ends, because it ends with this big cliffhanger with a tornado at the end.
It's very much an episode of two halves.
Yes. And Clark runs into a tornado to save Lana, and he promised Chloe, because Chloe was like terrified that he was going to leave her stranded at the dance to go and help Lana, because obviously we find out in this episode that Whitney's leaving to join the military. He's gone off.
Yeah, Marines.
The Marines specifically. There you go. And he's gone off to do that, and he's going to leave because he's like, oh, my dad's left me a call, and I found his dog tags or whatever, his Medal of Valor, whatever he had, some stupid army thing.
Something, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we really just diminished the value of whatever that was.
No,
some stupid army thing or whatever.
Well, I'm treating it with the respect that it deserves in this show, and how they just bring it up as a plot device where all of a sudden he wants to go join the Marines, when up until this point he has had zero inclination that he is even thinking about any type of life like that.
No, it's true.
And the very episode that he leaves to do it, he's like, hey, Lana, or maybe it was the episode before. See, this is the thing, they're blowing together. There's a picnic scene where he tells her that he's going to go to the Marines. Yeah,
maybe that was last episode.
It's hard to say because I watched them back to back. But
me too.
He's telling her this, and then Chloe thinks she's leaving because her dad loses the job at the plant because Lionel comes and shuts it down.
A rather amusing scene, actually. Lionel shows up and then Lex like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just giving one of my usual speeches. Comes out and Lex like, oh, they've worked hard. You better give them what they deserve. And he comes out and is like, hey, you've all done a great job. Shame the management shit. You're all out of a job.
The management being Lex, of course.
Yes, exactly.
So everyone hates Lex sufficiently, more so. Yeah. And so Chloe thinks she's moving to Metropolis, and Whitney's moving away. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. But Clark and Lana are being left on their own, and Lana's like feeling awkward. Like, Lana sees Clark kiss Chloe at one point, and she looks really jealous, and it's like, oh no, she's really into Clark now. And Clark's clearly still into Lana, even though he's trying to promise Chloe that
Clark isn't allowed to do anything morally to get with Lana now, because he had a thing with Whitney, and Whitney was like, hey, just keep it cool for me.
Yeah, look after.
Like, yeah, cool. I got you back.
Yeah.
And so now if he does make a move with Lana, he's being a bit of a dick.
Yes. I think he does come back once. I remember.
No, I know what it is. He doesn't. The actor is back.
Okay, sure, but that's not proving wrong the scene that I've got in my head. Okay. I've got a cheesy scene in my head with him and his full regalia coming in, officer and gentleman style, and picking Lana up. I know that happens. Don't tell me it doesn't. There may be a twist after the fact, and I know that ultimately. So spoilers here for Whitney, right? If you're at all bothered about Whitney, I know that he dies in combat, right? He does eventually die. I couldn't remember. So from what you're telling me, he shows up. We think it's him. Then it turns out it's not really him. He's already dead.
Yeah, it's someone who's shapeshifted.
Yeah. Whereas I was thinking that he comes back for one episode, then we find out later on he's dead. Whatever.
No, he's already dead. I vividly remember that one. For whatever reason, that's the episode.
The point I'm making, though, is that conveniently he ends up dead. And then he's off the hook. Clark's like, yeah, okay, Lana's for a game now. Let's do it.
Yep.
But yeah, so Whitney has that scene with Clark where he's like, and all throughout the episode we're hearing about storms. We're hearing about, it's gonna be a rough, stormy night. Night of the prom, or the spring fling, or the whatever the dance is. I don't know. The dance. It's not the prom, because they call it something else. They definitely call it something else.
Something formal. Is that one?
Spring formal, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Is it that one?
Maybe that one.
Can the Americans tell that we don't have any of this shit when we're growing up?
I don't know. Spring formal, homecoming bollocks. I don't know. What?
I think we had a prom. I never went, but I think my school had one.
Labor Day line dancing. I don't know, all the crazy things that I see on TV.
Is that a thing?
No, it's not. I made it up.
Yeah.
I'm adding to the list.
The fact that I actually went. I mean, it could be. It says a lot, doesn't it?
Halloween Hootenanny.
Oh, I'd be down for that one. That sounds like a riot.
Oh, too many school dances. Anyway, so they have dads, and it's very windy when Lana's driving Whitney to the bus station, the train station, whatever the station he's going to.
Oh, it's a bus station in the middle of nowhere.
Sorry?
It's a bus station. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
True. I mean, it could have been a train.
No, they said bus station.
No, I'm saying that middle of nowhere can have trains. Is what I'm saying. I'm not disputing what it is in the show. I'm just. You said that as if it's the middle of nowhere. It can only be a bus station.
No. I don't remember seeing the building of a bus station like that.
Sure.
I feel like it was just a bus stop in the middle of nowhere.
It's just a bus stop. But yeah, so he's off. But on our way back, the tornado strikes with some awful CGI, with the three funnels coming towards her, and she goes in her truck and just stays there. Now she's ran off the road already, so I mean she can't just drive away. Admittedly,
Yeah, and I mean better to be in the truck than out.
Yeah, no, I guess. I mean I don't know if is it worth trying to run on foot from a tornado? It's that far away or that close. I don't know.
I mean, I imagine they're a lot faster than you are.
They are, but I mean, they might go in a different direction. Like if they're going here this way and you're going that way, you might.
It's the classic, where in TV, cartoon when a tree's falling.
Yeah.
And they always run in the. They don't just go to the side. They always try and outrun the entire length of the tree.
In the scene, it looks like she's far enough away where if she's saying, "Okay, they're coming towards me roughly this direction," I'll go left. I'll run left.
I'm not familiar enough with tornadoes to know if that's feasible or not.
No, never been in the tornado country, I suppose.
She might have the right idea of just, I'm not making it anywhere else.
She might.
The best to go.
But Lana's been proven to be a really stupid character up until this point, so I think it's fair
we can't
game.
really trust a judgment.
No, it's fair game to question her. So here's the thing: I'm actually completely okay with Remy Zero being the band at the prom. I'm okay with them cutting to the dance and the opening theme, what we hear. Somebody save me.
I had a moment where I looked away for about 10 seconds before that happened, and then I just heard the music, and I was like, "Wait, did I skip episode? What happened?"
Yeah.
I was like, did I end up on the next episode somehow? And then I looked over, I was like, "Oh no, it was this." I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they're saying, and I'm okay with that. It's a fun thing to do in your finale. It's a cool little nod to your opening theme. As cool. My problem is, okay, so you have the shot of them singing it, and they have it playing throughout the scene, but then they have to start talking about it. It's like, oh, this band's really good. Yeah, Remy Zero. And then Pete's like, Remy Zero, woo! And then it cuts back to them singing some more, and then it cuts back to Clark and Pete talking, and I'm like, okay, you've ruined it. You've made it far too in my face for this to be
just leave it there. Yeah, because the idea is fine, and I'm sure I've seen it done elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just leave it be though. Don't draw attention to it. It's not subtle anyway.
No, it's not.
This
is the thing.
If you'd had the band there but doing a different song, that would have been more subtle, right? Because then people would go, "Oh, it's them, but you're not doing that song." Okay, I see what you're doing there. Mm-hmm. That's got a bit more to it. This is no, we're just singing the opening theme. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, so Taylor's hit and Clark's like, oh wait, south of here, that's where the bus station is, that's where Lana's coming from. And then he Batmans out the scene ridiculously quickly, might I add, and he's surrounded by people. He's in the middle of a dance floor. Chloe walks away, takes like 2 steps, and then gets a feeling that he's already left and turns back. And he's already gone.
Yep.
But
It's like, you're not going to abandon me, are you? Oh, you're already gone. Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah, and then, we end with him running into a tornado and this whatever. There was another Superman foreshadowing line in this one that really bugged me.
Oh, it was about his suit. It should just get the classic black and white, or should I go red? And Pete's like, no, don't get red. It's stupid. And Lana's like, oh, I think you'd look good with red.
No, it wasn't that one I was thinking of. It was that
one annoyed me.
It was talking about Whitney putting on a suit and saving the world.
Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah, there was a couple, and.
Yeah. I mean, it says, there's more than one.
And they were all rough. They were all rough to varying degrees. Dear.
Wonder if season 2 cuts down on that bullshit a little.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but maybe.
They'll find a way. They'll find a
Yeah.
way. Yeah, I mean, and obviously the other big thing in the finale is that the reporter, the rogue reporter, basically gets a hint that Clark is invulnerable, and he actually triggers the truck to explode with him inside it, and that proves to him, he's watching from afar on his camera, that, oh wait, okay, so he's the alien.
Yeah. Didn't we do this exact thing already with the dirty cop? Like 10 episodes ago. The cop that Lex knew from Metropolis. And he found out that Clark was invulnerable. He dropped the thing on him.
I know the episode.
And I'm like, we did this whole thing. Oh, someone found out. Oh, let's test it. And because I can picture it, because Clark.
But it wasn't the same way though, right? It wasn't an explosion in the car.
No, it wasn't the exact same way. But the bit that I distinctly remember being identical is Clark comes into the kitchen. He's like, "Hey, I think this guy, he did it on purpose." And they're like, "But how did he know that you'd survive?" And he's like, "I think he saw me do something already."
Oh, sure,
We
yeah,
had
that part.
exact moment. I'm like, it just feels like, okay, you're doing that twice in the same season.
I appreciate the explosion thing a little bit, just in the sense that he says afterwards that I barely felt it this time, and they kind of acknowledge that he's getting stronger. And I'm like, okay, right, so
Yeah,
we're kind of like establishing what his power level is here at the end of season 1 and where we are. And again, this is the sort of thing where if it only lasted 3 or 4 years, this would have been fine, because it would all sort of like gradually go up. Whereas because it lasted 10 years, it got to a point where he was basically Superman just without flying. It just lingered there for a long time.
This is fine, given that earlier in the season, when he first got shot at, he had big bruises.
Yeah. Whereas now, obviously now, we're at the point now where that's probably not the case anymore, and definitely in season 2, I'm sure he gets shot at and there's nothing.
Oh, he got shot at like 5 times in the chest last episode and shrugged it off, didn't he?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, we didn't see if he had bruises or not, but yeah, it didn't seem to bother him.
Yeah, but he didn't react to it. He just stood there. He was like, "Yeah, well, best you got."
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So he actually comes in. He confronts the Kents. He sees the ship in the it's not in the barn. It's in the shelter.
Storm cellar.
Yeah. And Jonathan tries to beat the shit out of him, but then the ship turns on, and that's one cliffhanger. The ship's lighting up. The other cliffhanger is that Jonathan's chasing him out into the storm, and then you've got Clark running into a tornado. That's all your cliffhangers.
No, you've missed one. You got Lex and Lionel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, during the storm, the mansion starts to fall apart, and Lionel's trapped under
in a bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, he's under a beam, and Lex is deciding whether or not he's going to try and save his father. Because he's inspired the workers to potentially like remortgage their houses to try and basically do a buyout of the plant so they can keep it open. He's going to pay for like 90% of it, but he needs them to like raise the rest. And Lionel's Lionel's bought the bank so that he controls all their mortgages, and that the second they miss a payment, he's going to evict them and foreclose on them.
I love how evil Lionel is. I really do. It's like, hey, you're all right, fine. You're going to mortgage? Fine, I'll take the bank. They're going to owe me their money.
I bought the bank, and that now all their houses belong to me. Congratulations. Good plan, Lex.
It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that was okay.
I like this cliffhanger in theory, because it's very much, Lex, whether or not he kills his father, is very much in keeping with his character. I know, obviously, I think we've mentioned before how this version of Lionel is very much a classic Lex from the comics.
Yeah.
I think I don't know about it. I mean, right down to him killing his parents and making his name, and that's a Lex origin in some cases.
Yeah. Of course, though, it gets dragged out for a long time, and then Lex leaves the show, and Lionel's still around for a good bit of time, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, isn't Lionel good at that point though?
Yeah, he turns out a good guy, I'm sure, at some point. Aye.
Yeah, I have vague memories of him being in prison and coming out as a good guy.
Shaving his head. I remember his head getting shaved. He's not got long hair in the later
because
seasons.
we had to have him be Lex.
No, I think he's good when he gets his head shaved.
Oh, is he?
I think so. I mean, I was close to it anyway.
We'll get there one day.
If he's not already good, he's a lot closer to being good than he is to the start of the show at that point.
Okay.
But hey, so that's that's the Smallville finale. Do you have a favorite episode of the season?
Let me have a look, and I'll tell you what I think is the least worst. Because there's got to be some that we didn't hate.
I mean, there was. Let me see. I vaguely remember the B episode not being as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
That's true. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst.
Um,
And as we said at the time, better than Arrow's B episode.
Maybe the guy who could control you, make you kill yourself when he touched you. Hug. What about that episode?
Yeah, that was all right.
Jitters wasn't the worst thing ever, I don't think. Here's the problem, though. I feel like most of the worst things about the episodes are actually the subplot stuff with Lana and Clark, and I can never remember which one had what of that.
No, that's true.
So, I don't know. So, bon voyage, Whitney. You will not be missed in any capacity.
No, we should take Lana with him.
That is true. That is true. All right.
Oh man, I was just looking at what the episode titles are for next season, seeing which ones do I remember. Just at a glance, and the first one, obviously, because it kind of picks up from the end of this.
Is it called Fujit?
No, it's called Vortex.
It's Tempest Fujit. So I was going for a thing.
And then episode 2 is called Heat, so I'm like, okay, that's the Heat Vision one, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing they did for the first 3 seasons, is that there was always an episode in the first 5 or 6 where he got a new power, but then after 3 seasons they went, shit, there's not really that many powers left, so they went a couple of seasons without, and then they got super breath in 5 or 6, and then that was basically it until the end of the show.
I'm just glancing. We got a Red Kryptonite one.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a big 2-parter, if I recall.
I don't know. It's just called Red. It's just one episode 4.
Oh no, the 2-parter I'm thinking of is the end of the season.
You're thinking the end of the season,
because it starts season 3, and he's already because he chooses to take the Red Kryptonite at one point.
He does. Yeah. No, I remember now.
Yeah.
Oh, the kid from a few episodes ago is back. The mind reading kid.
Oh God.
Yeah.
God, why?
Oh, we get into all the Native American stuff.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, and the cave. That's all coming up.
All right, that's it. We're done. That's Smallville.
Yeah.
We're moving on. That'll take us on then to Young Justice. Final 2 episodes of the show at this point, actually, because now we're waiting on season 3. Now I don't have to wait that long compared to most people because it will be next year, as opposed to everyone else.
Waiting however many years it's been now. Too many.
5 years. It'll be 6 years by the time it comes out.
It's been a long wait, let me tell you.
So episode 19 is called Summit. Episode 20 is called Endgame, and Summit arguably is more that felt like a finale in and of itself, actually, because it was kind of wrapping up the main conflict.
I'm gonna go out and say this here. Summit is my favorite episode of the show.
I can understand that. The entire thing.
I love everything it does.
It's a bottle episode where all the characters are in one place, and it's a bottle episode that starts off with the villains, and none of our heroes, other than Aqualad and Artemis, who are undercover, of course, still with the teams, none of our heroes are there, seemingly. And
for a good half of the episode.
And it's basically this meeting between the Light and the Reach, and they're basically there to debate and negotiate the recent events, their alliance with one another, the idea that either side is not holding their end of the deal up, and it becomes this kind of a debate. And obviously there's the moment where Ra's al Ghul notices the gem on Artemis. It's like, he knows what that is. He's familiar in this area. And this leads to Artemis getting shot along with Aqualad, because they figure out that if she's not really dead, then he must have not killed her.
He must be a traitor. Yeah. So Deathstroke takes him out.
Deathstroke just shoots them both, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Something's fishy.
But at the same time, you're like, it is basically the end of the season.
It is. And it's actually, so they keep talking, they keep debating and fighting, and ultimately, eventually, one of them admits that they've got the core, the key for the war world. And that's the moment where we just hear Artemis say, Oh, and that's all we needed to hear. And she's like getting up and they're like, wait, what? Deathstroke shot you. And Joe, it's funny. Obviously, as soon as I saw the eyes, I was like, okay, it's Miss Martian. Miss Martian is just shapeshifting as Deathstroke.
Yeah.
However, before it cut to him, I was thinking, did they just like hire Deathstroke?
Fuck him.
Yeah, they just hire him. Like, why not? He'll do it for money. Sure.
Yeah, he probably would have done.
Yeah, but no, it's Miss Martian, and then not only that, a bunch of the thugs, like the grunts that are in like masks, turn out to be some of our team members. Nightwing and Superboy jump in, and it becomes this big fight with everyone. There's some fun stuff in there. I really liked how Impulse, or was it Kid Flash? Because both Kid Flash and Impulse, Wally shows up in uniform for the first time all season.
Yeah.
And one of them runs around and basically triggers all the smoke grenades on all the soldiers' belts, and then Batgirl jumps in the smoke and takes them all out. I was like, oh, that was a fun team up moment. That was good.
I think this is one of the most exciting fights in the show in terms of just the teamwork element and everyone being there playing off each other.
Joe, I think it is. I think it's because they've been so segmented for the whole season and in different ways. And this is arguably the first time in the season where we've had Dick with Aqualad, with Wally, with Artemis, with Miss Martian, with Connor, the team from last season, in the same fight together, fighting side by side. And then on top of that, you've got Beast Boy doing his thing, Mula and the Brain are there.
8v8.
Yeah, and obviously Ra's al Ghul's there. Bunch of the characters, and it's super fun. And they win. They ultimately win. Now, a couple of them do escape. Vandal Savage, gets out, as
Raish
does...
gets stabbed, but they go... Yeah, they take him away. And it's, well, I mean, he'll be back.
Yeah. Black Beetle, of course, gets out as well. And they're sort of left behind, and there's some really fun stuff with Wally and Artemis, them flirting in between the fighting.
It's nice, isn't it?
And whatnot. It is really nice. Because if I have a complaint with season 2 is that it was a shame not having some of those season 1 characters together all season. That's probably my biggest complaint about season 2. Even though I think season 2 is the better season overall in terms of storytelling. If I've got a complaint, that would be it. Is that it kept those core 6 kind of split up for the season.
That's fair.
But yeah, so they basically win. However, we find out Black Beetle's like, well, the Green Lantern Corps is going to be coming soon because now that the Earth is said they don't want us, we're not been welcomed anymore. The Corps are welcome to come, and because of what we've done, that'll revoke the treaty that we had with them, and because of that, this will be a whole thing. It's like, well, we can just wipe the evidence, we'll just destroy the Earth, and that's kind of our big cliffhanger. Get into the next episode. But there was a bunch of interesting things that came up though. Like we found out that a lot of the things that have happened recently is that the Light were actually playing against the Reach, where the drink they were selling, they were neutering, so that it wasn't actually working. They actually let the Teen Titans into the fortress last time to help Blue Beetle. They and obviously even Lex, of course, who's part of the Light, helped the Runaways and what they were up to. So
there's a lot of these nice little touches in this episode that I love. Everything kind of comes together nicely. I love the verbal sparring for the first 10 minutes of the villains versus the villains.
Yeah.
That head-to-head clash, the ideological clash between them is great. Because ultimately, the Light, they're evil, but they're Earth evil. They're still gonna betray the aliens.
Yeah, they don't want to be Earth to be taken over. And they're trying to orchestrate the Light all the same. And then so that was basically the first of the two. That was Summit, but very good. Arguably one of the best episodes of the whole show. And then Endgame's a lot of the fallout of this. We actually have Wally say to Impulse that he's like, hey, you should, wear this suit. After this, I'm retiring. I'm here to help sure Artemis gets out safe. But after that, we're off to live a normal life. So you can be Kid Flash.
You take up the red and yellow.
Which is something from the comics. Impulse does become the new Kid Flash. That is a thing.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And we get more flirting. Basically, there's this thing where there's all these electric devices have been triggered all over the planet by Black Beetle that are going to... I want to call
them MFDs is the acronym.
I don't know what it stands Magnetic
for. Field
Disruptors.
There we go.
There you go. And so there's like 20 of them. There's 40 characters, so they all split into teams of 2. We don't see all of them, but we see enough to know that, okay, and Lex actually gives them help. He designs like a counter agent, this USB drive thing that they can turn them off. And we see, like, Wally and Artemis and France together, and they take down. There's a lot of fun flirting there as well.
Yeah, them like, hey, we should come back here.
Yeah. And it's very neat because it's making you really love Wally again, which is notable for where the episode goes towards the end. So basically, there's one more device that we didn't catch because of where it was, and Barry actually is the Flash who goes there first.
Yeah, there's no boom tubes up there. So
Barry races up, as does Impulse, and it's too late. The thing's already starting to go, and it's like, well, if you run around it, you might be able to like contain it, and it'll stop it from doing its thing. So Wally speeds off as well to go and help. So there's 3 of them running around it, but Wally's not as fast as the other 2 in this show.
It's re-established.
And it starts to hurt him. It starts to it's basically his crisis moment. Like Barry had in the comics, where he fades out of existence by helping, and he knows it's happening, and he says, tell Artemis this, tell my parents this. And it's this really sad thing. Now, the one hope I have here, and it's funny given the week in comics right now, which I won't spoil, but I will say my immediate thought here is season 3.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm terrified of is that I don't think there's a Speed Force in this universe. We've never had any mention of a Speed Force
yet. That's how you introduce it. That's how you bring Wally back in season 3. Because let's be honest here, because obviously Artemis going to his parents, and it's just that silent scene of them crying together, heartbreaking. And
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching this on my tablet on the bus, and I'm there going, "Don't cry in public. Don't do it. Don't cry on the bus." And it may have been a tear, just the one.
And I feel that the potential of having him come back at a big moment in season 3 is too good. And I think because of Barry in the comics, because he went out in Crisis of Infinite Earths, and because it took 20 years, but he did come back, and it was a big moment. Because of that, I feel like, even though it's a different character, I feel like the precedent is there, and that's what it's going to be based on.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
It is possible, and I'm hopeful, but my God, it's sad anyway. I think it's notable that there's been no Wally whatsoever in any of the season 3 marketing.
Well, they're not going to spoil it. They're not going to reveal it.
But they're not even mentioning him. There's just nothing. Complete silence.
Which will just make it more effective when they bring him back. It's happening, right? It has to happen. Shut up, people. It's happening.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be pretty sad.
Otherwise, if I get to the end of season 3 is when no Wally West return, it's garbage. Retroactively, I'm going to...
It's going to hit you.
Yeah. Retroactively, I'm going to grade that entire season a 1 out of 10. If that right? That's what's happening.
Yeah. This is it. We're in denial at the moment. It's like, no, he's not dead. It's fine.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating here, but the point I'm making, it stands. So... Yeah, so that was really sad, and everyone reacting to it. Dick saying, "No, I'm going on sabbatical because I can't take this. My best friend's dead." And I love that Batgirl's kind of his replacement. He's like, "No, Babs is ready. She can,
she'll step up." Yeah.
Aqualad, Babs will help you. She can be your co-leader, or your second in command, whatever.
Yeah.
Babs is one ready for it, and that was cool. Because I like Babs a lot, and well, it's nice to have her in the show. She's not really been a character in the show. She's kind of, she's there as an extra fighter. She's not really been a character.
She's been around. The most that we probably got of her was, in our introduction with Cassie.
Yeah. So, but no, it's nice that maybe there'll be a bit more of her. And we know that she's around. We know that Steph's going to be in the next season, so we'll see if they develop that more.
We know that the team are working out of the Watchtower now.
Yep.
And Black Canary's the new leader or the new chairman of the Justice League. And
obviously the Justice League don't get back in time to help with everything because they actually get prosecuted, and then Miss Martian and a few of them
pay the bribe.
Yeah. Miss Martian and a few of them show up and convince them to, hey, no, we've got actual evidence that prove they're innocent. Don't care. We've already said they're guilty. It's fine. Whatever. Go away.
Yeah, and then Connor's like, hey, if you set a precedent here, other people will come to you and give you more bribes.
That was
a long game.
That was way more diplomatic for Connor than it used to be. Like season 1, Connor would have gotten angry and just started punching them. Like that would have been season 1 Connor.
It's when he said because they keep calling the bribes more.
Yes.
Because they can't say bribe, obviously.
Yes.
Just like you'll get mores. And they're like, we'll have to consider this.
Yes. Get a reputation. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So no, season was really good, and the ending was really sad and dramatic. Obviously, there's a little cliffhanger tease for where
Yeah,
the
we should mention as well. We have the Beatles versus Beetle fight
sure, yeah,
with the Black Beetle versus Green and Blue.
and
Some
and
trying to take control of each other.
yeah, Jaime kind of wins out, and actually de-beetles Black Beetle, who already de-beetled Green Beetle, so they're both beetleless now,
Yep,
and
yep.
Blue's remaining strong, and the Scarab, of course, is way more friendly with Jaime now, and it's like, yeah, we're best buddies.
Yeah, let's do this.
So no, that's cool. But yeah, we get the tease at the end, where Vandal Savage,
Who has Warworld?
who has Warworld, and took Warworld with him. He goes to Apocalypse. It says Apocalypse, and I'm like, we've not been to Apocalypse yet. This is new stuff for this show. Wait a minute. Darkseid Titan, baby, and then Darkseid.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not super fond of Darkseid's head in this.
That's fair. It might be slightly redesigned, but
It's
for
just
season 3.
it's not round enough. It's too angular. There's too many angle sharp sort of edges to it
No, that's fair.
for my liking. It's not Darkseid's head, but it's a minor complaint
That's
overall.
it. But that was the one where, when this got cancelled, I was like, "You pricks! You're introducing Darkseid. You're going down that route." Because obviously we've been dealing with the Apocalypse and New Genesis Tech, and we've had the New Gods shop a little bit. But you introduce Darkseid and then cancel it. I'm like, oh my god, pricks!
No, Darkseid is coming.
Exactly. Darkseid cannot be stopped.
Darkseid's coming.
Not even cancellation.
Yes, apparently not. No. So presumably Darkseid is one of the main threats in season 3, Justice League Outsiders. So looking forward to that now. Now that I'm all caught up to date. When we come back to off-season content, which will happen in the winter over Christmas. Although interestingly, there's a good chance there'll always be at least one DC Universe show on, which will be nice. So there'll always be like at least one thing that's on.
If they said their plan is to always have something
Yeah.
every week, whether they stick to that at first, cause give it a year, I absolutely believe that they'll have enough going.
Yeah, maybe
It's
rough.
just whether they're ready to go straight into something after Titans. I think this is the only point where I might question.
Yeah,
if
I
that's
could see
true.
them taking a couple of weeks off because they're just not quite ready enough just now. But
I do think this will be the only time where that happens.
so when we get back to off-season content, what will likely be the schedule will be the one new thing from DC Universe, and then one Lois and Clark, one Smallville, and then one of probably Batman the Animated Series, given that the Blu-ray and the HD versions are all about to hit, which, yes,
Yeah.
please.
Did the HD versions hit on the DC Universe service already?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure.
I don't know, because I know the Blu-rays are not coming out till the end of October,
Yeah,
which I have pre-ordered already.
they may hit then, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, hey,
I'm excited.
So that'll be what happens when we come back with more off-season content. But that'll not be a concern for a while, and certainly because there's a DC Universe show, because there's actually more shows on in general, the chances of us having the odd random week where we have to fill in one thing here or there is basically not going to happen. Because we're going to have...
It's definitely not happening this side of Christmas.
No, because we're going to have, 5 CW shows plus Titans for like...
Yeah,
a while.
so even if 2 of them take a week off.
Oh yeah, if 4's enough. Four's still an episode of this show. If there's 4 one week, I'm going to accept that as an easier week and take the break.
Yeah, because 6 is going to be a lot.
6 is
And
a lot.
I'm
Yes.
not necessarily looking forward to after Christmas, where we're going to have 5 DC shows, CW shows, plus a DC Universe show, plus Krypton.
On the upside, though, there's a good chance that either Black Lightning and/or Legends will be done by the time Krypton starts, or at least should be early on.
Should be a little bit of a crossover period, maybe a crossover period, depending on when Krypton hits.
Well, if Krypton doesn't start till it did last year, there won't be any crossover, I don't think.
Well, that's true. That's true. I'm thinking because last year we had that weird schedule with Supergirl and Legends.
Yeah, that won't happen this year.
That won't happen
And
this
even if
year.
that happens, then that means it takes the place of something else.
No, it's true.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. But hey, busy times ahead. So you can look forward to that. So like I say, no show next week. But the week after is the week that Flash and Black Lightning start. We'll have a shorter episode that's just those two shows that week. And then the following week, which will be a day later the following week than it should be. So 2 days later than the week before, because it's early that week. And then the week later, it'll be a day later than it should be.
Yeah, just because of when I get back.
Just because of when Connor gets back. And you'll need to watch all the shows after he gets back. So that's what's going to happen. So that's the schedule for the next couple of weeks. And then after that, it should just be normal every week on the current day of Friday, going up early Friday. So that is us. So thank you very much for watching or listening. If you want to support the show and the channel and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to get the DC Comics Twitter specifically for the Comics from the Multiverse Twitter, that's at DC Comics Podcast for various comic book tweets and things like that. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching DC shows and superheroes, and always remember that sometimes we screw things up for the better.